And how's it going, guys and girls? Me, it's Uncle, welcome back on my channel, and yes, third time today, who would say? Well, I'm here to play DDLC Blue Skies, and you already know what we'll be doing. New game, let's fucking go. Okay, so yeah, we already know all this shit, Monaga. Yes, I knew it. Let's skip. Already know everything about this. I believe that blonde girl will appear, well, apparently, Yuri. Oh, I can only choose this one too? Hey, could you help me pick out the book that I think I would like? Oh, I would be happy to. If the prospect isn't too off-putting, I know of a wonderful horror novel. To be honest, horror never particularly appealed to me, still I want to make an effort here. I'll have an open mind. What book were you thinking of? Blushing Yuri bends down and removes the thick book from the bookcase. It was a large, piercing eye on the cover. It almost feels like it's staring into my soul. Yeah, okay, it's Portrait of Markov. One of my personal favorites, Portrait of Markov. I know it might look intimidating, but sorry. She sticks ahead and goes to put the book back, but I stop her. Don't worry about it. I would love to check it out. What is it about? A coy smile plays across her face, as I thought she were pleasantly surprised by my enthusiasm. Let's see, the protagonist is a young high school student who moves in with her sister, but shortly after sinister things start happening. Oh, wow. The two are captured by a ominous cult that practice nightmarish experiments on their prisoners. Throughout the story, she is forced to make decisions no one her age, to make choices no one of her age should have to make. In the process, her ability to trust others is warped, and many her relationships are broken as a result. Pretty dark, but hey, I'd be lying if I said he didn't sound interesting. Well, definitely sounds. Sorry. Why the game glitched like that? Yeah, okay, wait. Well, it definitely sounds pretty engaging. Like, I think I'll read this book then. Nasky mumbles something, but she's just barely out to earshot. Really? You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I do. Well, this might not be what I usually pick. Your description of the plot intrigued me. Although I have to ask, what makes this your favorite book? If I had to put it into words, I suppose I'm a big believer in literature's ability to challenge the psyche. To have such an immersive tale question your ideals and foundations can be extremely exhilarating. She smiles and twirls along, lavender strand of hair around with her finger. Words are immensely powerful. They can paint stunning portraits, invoke emotions, or even whisk oneself away to an entirely new dimension. As she continues to speak, she transforms from a timid girl I just met into a proud and confident expert. I get the impression that she feels more at home with books rather than other people. Isn't that exhilarating, Livy? We have such a vast vocabulary at our disposal. With such a powerful resource at our fingertips, we can do anything. I clear my throat, hoping that I don't put her off with my evident inexperience. Yeah, when you put it that way, I can understand how powerful the written word can be. I scratch the back of my head nervously. Fortunately, she finds that to be a satisfactory answer. One must look at the words the author chose. We have so many synonyms. Synonyms, yeah. So what compelled the author to shape their story to the way they did? The feeling I get when I finally finished a truly compelling novel. It leaves me totally breathtaking. I wish I had something as coherent to respond with. We might as well be from different planets. I think I know what you mean. The closest her eyes pulling her hand close to her chest. She closes her eyes, pulling her hands close to her chest. Then, as though remembering she's not alone, she suddenly blinks and immediately appears more bashful. Oh goodness, I'm sorry, I must have gotten lost in my train of thought. She fiddles with a thin clip in her hair, sliding it up and down. Hey, don't worry about it. It's nice to see you talk about something you obviously enjoy. Who's to say otherwise? Yuri glances over to Natsuki, who simply raises an eyebrow in reply. We've been on Natsuki's side for too long. It's time to change place. Does Natsuki not like this kind of story? She does. She sighs and turns to look out the window. That's putting it lightly. We have our differences and in what we enjoy literature-wise. She frowns slightly as though pained by Natsuki's apparent disapproval. Well, I think everyone's different tastes are what make literature interesting, especially when talking about it with other people. I can't help but grin. I feel like that was actually a pretty clever response. Yes, that's a good way of looking at it. I reach over and take a portrait of Marco from her, tucking it under my arm. Well, I'll give this a bit of a read, and see how far I can get tonight. I appreciate you giving it a chance, even if it's not something you're used to. I'll be looking forward to hearing your opinion. I must warn you though, once you get past the few first chapters, you might have trouble putting it down. And perhaps more, I mean, if you wanted, we could discuss it. She looks quite nervous as she suggested that. Guess that's just how our personality is. Yeah, we can do that tomorrow. Thanks for the recommendation, Yuri. I do need to branch out and try new things. This will be a good place to start. I'm grateful that I get to read it on my own, at least for now. I honestly have no idea if I'll even like it. And if I were reading it with her and I decided I didn't, that might make things a little awkward. With the book in hand, I make the way to my desk. The others are all now preoccupied. So this seems like a convenient time to start the story. It's definitely an unusual book. Horror was never really my thing, but I have to admit the main idea is intriguing me, and the main character are written well. The more I read, the more I can see why it appeals to Yuri. All the talk about appreciating sophisticated language. While it's not exactly my kind of story, to their credit, the author does a good job building up the red and bleak situation. I've never been particularly imaginative, but even I can picture the scenes in my head. If I weren't so tired, I could probably engage with it more. Over time, I can't help but grow a little bored, though. I guess I've read enough to be able to discuss it with Yuri tomorrow, so I decided to call it there. Looking up, I spot Yuri reading something. Might as well see what she is up to. I've probably read this for long enough. Standing up with a stretch, I make my way over and take a seat next to her. And we skip now. I don't know, I just like to skip when something doesn't change. To make videos quick, not going on everything. Yes, indeed. I guess I know most of them, so, married, nah. Okay, married. Oh, shit. Disarray, no, shit, wait, nah. I won't miss any more. Yuri Woods, that's it. What is it? Come on, internet, stay with me for fuck's sake. The fandom is unbearable. Yes, accept it. Let's go. Yeah, I know the appearance. No, I don't need a video to know who's Yuri. I already know too much about it. She was actually one of my favorite Tokis until, well, her cutting probably become more like mine. So yeah, let's see. Okay, this is a lot. Yeah. Okay, secretive is one of them. Yep. Secretive. Disaster. Yes. Explode. Effulgent. Scars? Nah. Suicide is from her. Weird. Well, not weird, but still. Heart with no whirlwind. Waterfall. Shit. Captive. Determination. Nah, that's from. Wait, yes. Determination. Wonderful. Oh no. It's wonderful, one of them. Nope. Universe. Yes. A tone. Sunshine? Nope. Question. I believe not. Oh, it does. Okay, so question. From abstract. Agonizing. This. Fuck. After image. Charm? No. Pressure, nope. Charm. Nope. Infallible. Photograph. I believe that's one of them. I don't know why. Just feels like it. But it's not. Yeah. Covert. Tenacious. It's weird how I got that all right. Let's go. Skip. Isn't this the book from yesterday? Upon seeing the confused look on my face, she hastens to explain. I thought you might like to have your own copy so that you can read on your own as well. I honestly don't know what to say. I know how is it that she's only known me for a day, yet she's already done something this thoughtful for me. Oh really, thank you, that's very thoughtful of you. But you didn't have to do that for me. I feel kinda bad. I'm sorry, didn't mean for that. I understand if you don't want to read with me anymore, so honestly she gets more adorable by the minute. Please, it's fine, I would love to read with you. I just wasn't expecting you to buy me a copy of my own. I sure don't want to force you. Seriously, Yuri, I'm sure after all, I grinned. It is a good book. She timidly returns my smile, relaxing a little bit. I'm glad you seem to think so. How are you liking it so far? She looks at me with a wide, expectant eyes. She must be really worried that I'm not enjoying it as much as her. To be honest, I've been pleasantly surprised, while horror isn't really my thing. It really kept my attention. Even though I haven't gotten very far yet, I find myself feeling sorry for the protagonist. The language is pretty, engaging? It suddenly makes me think about it. As I praise the book, her face grows visibly more relieved and her eyes light up as I mention the language. I'm glad you think so. One not only needs to look at what is being said, but how it is phrased. I can entirely change the desired message, wouldn't you agree? Oh boy, I hope we don't get into an in-depth discussion about the language. I'm still nowhere near Yuri's level with this sort of thing. Oh, totally. I never really thought about it until you brought it up with me. You really made me look at it with a bit more scrutiny than I would normally. She blushes at this, turning away slightly. Really? I helped you with that? I have to admit, you really managed to open my eyes to this sort of things. Or should I say my third eye? Yuri's silence makes me nervous. Did I make a mistake? You know, because of the book mentions the third eye, and there's an eye on the cover. Ah, I see. Probably best not to comment on her accidentally continuation of the pun. Thought crowd. Oh, I see. We're making the joke. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. No worries, I just thought it was a good pun. She smiles bashfully. Yes, it is kinda humorous, isn't it? Phew, I think that makes everything okay now. No, you just made a clown of yourself. Congrats. Want me to get you a circus or something? Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off the schedule of activities for the club, but that's not what it seems like. I would love to talk to Yuri a bit more, especially after she gave me that book. However, she seemed to be focused on her own book. I'm worried I might just distract her. As she lifts up to turn the page, I get a glimpse of the cover. It's the same book that she gave to me, and it looks like she's only just started it. Ah. Oh damn, I hope she doesn't think I was staring at her. Her eyes meet, but her eyes dart away quickly. Sorry, no, it's fine. I didn't mean to stare, I was just spacing out a little. No, well, if I had been actually concentrating, I wouldn't have noticed. I mean to ask though, isn't that book what you gave me? It's one of my favorites, so I thought I would give it another read through. Not for any other reason, I assure you. I see, but why do you have two copies of the same book? Ah, well, I know I lent you a book yesterday, but I figured you might feel more comfortable with your own copy. I know that I always feel more at ease when I'm handling my belongings. If an accident happens, there are less at stake than if you damage someone else's property, so you're probably less clumsy than I am, though. Yuri, the ever graceful girl, thinks that she is clumsy? Nah, pretty sure I'm just as clumsy as you, if not even more. Oh, right. Anyway, after our meeting adjourned yesterday, I went to the bookstore to get you that is to say, I forgot I already had a copy and accidentally brought another. And it seemed like a waste to just hold on to it. Couldn't you just have to return it though? They already closed. So there's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm glad that you gave it to me. I'll get started on it right away. That makes me happy to hear. It's the kind of story that really drowns you into it. If you're not careful, you can lose track of time very easily. I know I've opened it for some light reading before, but only to close it and find out the sun's rising. I'm sure that won't happen to you though. You'll be able to get enough sleep as usual. Unless you generally find yourself lacking sleep, in which case you should go to bed earlier. Yeah, but you can do whatever you want. I don't mean to overstep my bounds. Don't worry about it, Yuri. I'll be sure to read it early in the day. Do you mind telling me a bit more about it? Oh, I would love to. Now, where do I begin? Yuri delicately closed the book, her eyes scanning the cover. Well, actually, I don't think I could give an adequate explanation on my own. If I were to tell you more about the story than I did yesterday, it would lose a lot of its impact. Forgive me if it sounds brushing you off. That's not what I intended. It's alright, Yuri. Come to think of it, you did summarize it well enough already. Yes, I'm sorry. It seemed to get lost in my mind whenever I talk about these kind of stories. Don't you have anything like that? I guess so. You're nodding with a delicate smile. Everyone has deeply held interest that stirs the passion within their hearts. I suppose for me it would be my novels, and Yuri cuts herself off. What a nice joke you did there. Playing with what she actually does and with the phrasing. You almost got me there. Yeah. And I thought you were about to say something she didn't want to. Well, you know what I mean. What got you in these sorts of stories, though? Jessie tosses the book in her arms. Do your parents enjoy them as well? Yuri pauses for a moment, shyly looking down her feet. She seems to be going over what she says in her head. I've always had an interest in macabre. This genre can easily throw you for a loop. The macabre. Fuck, I don't know how to say that word, and I won't just humiliate myself by trying to say it right. This genre can easily throw you for a loop. While many stories are simply content to introduce the antagonists and condition their reader to root against them, a book like this one can find ways to flip that narrative on its head. And so, while you might initially find yourself relating to the protagonist, you might suddenly find out that they're their own worst enemy. I'm rambling, aren't I? Please forgive me. I really should try to think about the others more. Yuri, I promise I'm not mad at you. You're just passionate, which is pretty cool. Is it? For a brief moment, a tiny smile teases at the corner of Yuri's mouth. Well, I'll try not to worry about it too much, but sometimes I get distracted when I think about books and writing. I forget where I am and start speaking my mind. So please forgive me if I say anything unusual, and if I seem like I'm not paying attention, please let me know. I really don't think you need to worry about that, Yuri. This is literature club after all. Isn't that sort of thing we should be discussing anyway? I suppose so. So on that note, would you like to read a bit together? You don't need to force yourself to spend time with me if you don't want to. But what if I do? You really want to spend your time with me? Of course, Yuri. Book in hand, I slide into the desk next to Yuri. Is everything okay? Yes, I'm terribly sorry. I'm just not too accustomed to reading in company. It's usually been a solitary affair for me, you see. Yeah, I can understand how this might seem a bit unsettling for you. If it gets too overwhelming, let me know. I won't be offended if you need some space. Alright. I opened the book, allowing the hardcover to flop against the desk. As I read through the prologue, I noticed Yuri glancing over at my book. I would be lying if I said I wasn't comforting in a way. It was comforting in a way, but it's somewhat distracting. Ah, I'm sorry, I hope I wasn't distracting you. Yuri, why do you apologize all the time? You really done nothing wrong. Though I can't help it, I suppose. It's like an involuntary reflex. I'm preemptively apologize. If I preemptively apologize, it's lessen both my disappointment in myself as well the others' disapproval of me. Didn't mean to make things awkward, sorry. I mean, it's okay, don't worry about it. How about we do this? I push our two desks together and slide my book between the two of them. Ah, I suppose that will work. Yuri puts her own copy away and shifts a bit closer to me. I steady the right side of the book between my thumb and forefinger, and Yuri does the same with the other side. Perfect, now we can both go through it the same pace. Now this is weird. Yes. Ah, the two of us are huddled closely together over the book, carefully reading it. Yere. Oh well. I can see your gentle face in my peripheral vision. She has a stern, focused expression, her eyes slowly scanning each page. Do you need a bit more time with this page? Ah, sorry, I guess I'm not really too quick of a reader. Look over and our gaze meet. There's a koi sparkling on her eyes. Ah, it's quite alright. We can go at whatever pace you're comfortable with. After all, you've been so patient with me today. It would It it would only be fair for me to return the favor, wouldn't it? Thanks, I'll try not to take too long. The two of us continue reading in relative silence. Even though we are so quiet, each turn of the page feels as though we're connected. As I let go of the page, it gently floats over to her and she delicately slides down her thumb. Hey, Having been absorbed by the story, Yuri reels me back in. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. It's fine. What were you going to say? Well, I suppose I just wanted to thank you for this. I had always hoped I could find someone to share my interest in books with. I've never really had anyone to read with me before. Having someone else be there is nice, really. I would have thought you would at least done some reading with your family. Yes, well, I did when I was younger, but she dwells off not finish the thought. I decided not to press her further on it right now. Yuri takes a slow deep breath. I'm just happy that you're here for me. I mean, with me. Not that I wouldn't want you to be there for me or anything, but I can't believe I've messed things up again. Wait, Yuri, I don't think you've done anything wrong. If anything, I think of that as a compliment. You do? Sure, if I'm being honest, I enjoy your company as well. Okay, everyone. Yeah. I think it's about time to share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Oh, Yuri sings dejectedly, looking down at the floor. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not that. Don't worry about me, I'm alright. Yuri lets go of the book and closes the cover, handing it over to me. We got through a fair bit today, didn't we? Do you mind if I continue a bit further on my own? Or would you prefer I only read with you? You don't have to limit yourself on my behalf if you want to keep reading. After all, I finished this story before. Then I guess I'll continue reading a little bit tonight, and then we'll have a bit more to talk about tomorrow. Yes, that's a good idea. Just be sure to let me know how far you get so I can avoid spoilers for you. Alright, I skimmed through the book to find the page we left on, and fold it in slightly to mark for later. By the way, you did remember to write a poem, right? Yeah, that was what we didn't want to. Okay, let's go. Whom should I show my poem first? Of course it's Yuri. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can't trust her opinion, to be fair. Yuri eyes seem to sparkle as she reads my poem. My goodness, this is unparalleled. I think that might be a little bit much. Oh, forgive me if that sounds sincere. Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Don't sweat it, Yuri. I just wasn't expecting to hear such a compliment from you already. I see. Right. I see. Yuri clears the throat. Well, I just wanted to say, this is truly an impeccable poem. Yuri glances down back at my poem. So I assume this isn't your first piece, am I correct? Your composition incorporated a lot of beautiful poetic devices and imagery indicative of an experienced writer. Well, I hate to disappoint, but it is kind of my first time doing this sort of things. You're joking, right? I check my head. If I end up writing a poem, it's totally coincidental, I'm afraid. I see. Well, in that case, I think you've got a wonderful gift. Although, if you would like, I could offer you some advice for your future poems. Your eyes light up as thought she's been looking forward to this. Please do. I need all the help I can get. I've just noticed a few qualities consistent with newer writers that showed up in your poem. Perhaps what stands out the most is that you've tried very hard to make the structure of this poem your own. Yeah, we already know that poem. You really think so? That might be a bit much. No, I really mean it. I think I could learn with some things from you in your poetry. Really? Yeah, of course. You know, at first the prospect of sharing my writing was terrifying, but I'm really glad I was able to do it. Wait. Okay, let's keep going. Hopefully I can write another piece that you like. I'll look forward to it, Yuri. Well, next, let's go see Yuri. Yeah, alright, now you have to skip. Nonsky. Hey, how you doing, kiddo? If you're actually not gonna try, then you're better off just leaving the club. Jeez, you don't beat around the bush, do you? Why should I? This is just plain bad. Hey, do I look like a writer? This was my first ever poem. Yeah, it's probably garbage, but I still tried. If you're so confident, let's see the poem you wrote, huh? Hard to think about? Fine, I'm sorry if you were offended. Way to avoid direct apology. Yeah, well, she's like that. Way to avoid direct apology. But next time at least try a little harder, okay? Nowhere to go but up, eh? Yeah, sure, whatever. Just read my poem. Knowing you, you'll probably hate it. Sometimes folks are winners, some only lose. Some are go-getters, some only cruise. Sometimes we try hard and give it our all. Sometimes we give up. What else can we do? Told you we were gonna hate it. Yeah, I actually like it. It's not that bad. Monica, yeah, this is the one that never changes. Well, it changes sometimes, okay. Good work. Really? You can lay the brutal truth on me if you want. You don't have to be so harsh on yourself. This is your first time writing poetry, isn't it? That, that it is. Comfortable with? Yeah, it usually takes a while for people to become completely comfortable with their writing. And even then, they're constantly evolving their style and changing things up. I guess that's true. Either way, you should have high expectations for me.